Before beginning the 37 practices of Bodhisattvas, it's important to understand a little about the situation we're in, which is called cyclic existence, or samsara in Sanskrit. Unless we have a general understanding about cyclic existence, its causes, nirvana as alternative, and the path to peace, these 37 ways in which Bodhisattvas practice won't necessarily make a lot of sense to us. There are two reasons to teach these practices. The first is so people can solve their current problems and have more happiness in this life. The second is so they can attain liberation and enlightenment. I'm going to teach the text in both ways, giving you tools to help you in this life, but showing that the long-term purpose of these tools is to free ourselves and others from cyclic existence. If you aspire for liberation and enlightenment, you need to know from what you want to be liberated. That means you should understand the present situation you're in and what causes it. This is crucial for any deep spiritual practice. Otherwise, it is very easy for our spiritual practice to be defiled by the 8 worldly concerns, attachments to 1. Material possessions and money. 2. Approval, praise and love. 3. Reputation and image. 4. Sense pleasure. The other 4 worldly concerns are not getting the previous 4 and experiencing their opposites. Dejection because of lacking material possessions and money. Receiving blame or disapproval, having a bad reputation or image, and experiencing unpleasant sights, sounds, odors, tastes, or tactile sensations. But when we're aware of what cyclic existence is and have a sincere wish to be free from it, that is, to renounce suffering and its causes, then the motivation for our spiritual practice becomes quite pure. Cyclic existence. What is samsara or cyclic existence? It is being in this situation where, again and again, we take rebirth under the influence of ignorance, afflictions, and karma. Due to ignorance, afflictions, and karma, our mind is propelled into another body again and again. Samsara is also the 5 psychophysical aggregates that we live with right now. That is, our 1 body. 2. Feelings of happiness, unhappiness, and indifference. 3. Discriminations of this and that. 4. Emotions, attitudes and other mental factors. And 5. Consciousnesses, which include the 5 sense consciousnesses, which know sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and tactile sensations, and the mental consciousness which thinks, meditates, and so forth. In short, the basis upon which we label I, our body and mind, is cyclic existence. Cyclic existence doesn't mean this world. This is important because some people think, oh, you renounce cyclic existence. You want to escape from the world. You want to
go to Never Never Land. That is not it. Renunciation is about renouncing suffering or unsatisfactory circumstances and their causes. In other words, we want to relinquish attachment to this body and mind produced under the influence of ignorance, mental afflictions, and karma. Our body, we all have a body. Did you ever stop to wonder why we have a body? Have you ever wondered if there are alternatives to having a body that gets old, sick, and dies? We live in the midst of our consumer society where body is seen as beautiful, and we are encouraged to spend as much money as possible to satisfy the wants, needs, and pleasures of this body. What exactly is this body that we spend so much time taking care of? We are socialized to regard our body in certain ways. So much of our identity depends on the color of the skin of this body, the reproductive organs of this body, the age of this body. So much of our identity is bound up with this body. So much of what we do on a day-to-day basis is about giving pleasure to this body and beautifying this body. How much time do we spend making this body look good? Men and women alike can spend a long time looking in the mirror and worrying about how we look. Are we too fat, too thin? Do we have pimples? Does our body bulge where we want it to bulge and not bulge where we don't want it to bulge? Should we dye our hair or pierce our body to make it more attractive? We're concerned about how we look and whether other people will find us attractive. We don't want to look like a slob. We're